Good morning, everybody. It's lovely to be with you. How are you getting on? I really hope each week you've been enjoying learning the story of the whole Bible. We're hopefully going to cover it all in 10 weeks. Now, last week we got to the end of the Old Testament, and the children, and maybe some of the adults too, have been following along the story by making their own banners. And you are in for a real treat this morning, because 3 of our Livewires children are going to recap our first 6 weeks for us using their banners instead of me. So listen up and enjoy.
I'm going to do the first 3 weeks of the 3 weeks. Okay, so Adam and Eve lived in the Garden of, what was it again?
Garden of Eden.
Garden of Eden, and they were very happy.
Mm-hmm.
So next page away is Adam and Eve again. So a snake told, was it Eve first?
Yeah, that's right.
The snake told Adam to eat from the tree that God did not tell them to eat from. So she did. Then she offered Adam to eat some, and that was breaking a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Then they were sad again.
Yeah. What did God do? Because they ate the
Put
fruit.
them in a rubbish garden, and it was rubbish. It had prickles, and soon they were dead.
Well, I don't know about that bit, but
Died.
okay. Don't know if they died there, but you know, okay. And who's the last person we're going to talk about on our banner today?
Okay, so we passed forward loads, and we are going to Abraham. So God was promising 3 promises.
Mm-hmm.
One promise is that he will have lots of children, and he was really, really old.
That's right. And then this is. Do you remember what this is? The picture of.
A garden.
That's right. So that was another one of God's promises as well, wasn't it?
They were going
And
to
they're
live
gonna
in
be
a lovely garden,
That's right.
and they were so happy.
That's right.
And today, goodbye all. I hope you enjoy the next news of the Bible. Goodbye. David was a good man. He listened to God. He made the city happy, and they were all blessed. Solomon was good to start with, but then other wives from other countries distracting him from listening to God. And then after Solomon, the city got invaded by another city because they were turning their backs to God and they weren't listening. And God said, well, that's enough, and we're going to give you a punishment. So the city went invaded.
Wow, thank you so much, Max and Lily and Ruben. Weren't they fantastic? Really great presenters, and amazing how much they've remembered, and fantastic banners. So well done. Lily showed us that last week we finished up with a little bit of a problem. She showed us that after Solomon and the other kings had messed up, that God had to send them away to another country, and we had a big thumbs down and sad faces. Max also reminded us just now of the promises that God had made to Abraham, and you might remember looking at this, which showed us the 3 promises that God had given to Abraham. Max also reminded us that right at the beginning, everything had been ruined by the people wanting to be their own king, not allowing God to be king, and not doing what God said. God promised that this problem of sin would be fixed up through Abraham's family. So what's happened? What's going to happen? Has God forgotten his promises? Well, we're going to find that out in a minute. But first of all, I wonder if you've had to ever wait a really long time for anything. Maybe you've had to wait a long time for an exciting holiday, or a special treat, a sleepover maybe, or your birthday. Right now, you might be waiting to go back to school. Or you just might be waiting for the day that you can be in the same room as your friends and your family and to give them all a big hug again. Now, back to our story. Do you remember Do you remember David, our shepherd boy? Now, God gave him a promise too. He said that one day there would be another great king from his family, which is the same family as Abraham's. He would be a forever king. And God's people were waiting for this king. Even after they'd been sent out of their land, they were still waiting for a long time. And we all know what it's like to have to wait for a long time for something that we are looking forward to. Now, if you were waiting for a forever king, one that was going to be great, I wonder where you would look. Would you look for one in a castle, like this one, Disney's Sleeping Beauty castle? Or would you look in a palace? I wonder if anybody knows which palace that is. I wonder where the baby might be born. And imagine the parties that might happen, and the processions, and the excitement. Well, God had other ideas. One day, God decided to speak to an ordinary girl through an angel. The angel might have looked a little bit like this, but I'm not sure. But listen carefully to what the angel said. You are going to have a baby boy. He is God's son, and he will be great. He will be the forever king, ruling over Abraham's family forever. Wow. This was what everyone had been waiting for. Can you guess the name of the girl that the angel was speaking to? It was Mary. I wonder how Mary felt when the angel gave her this news. She was going to have a baby boy who would be the promised king, who God's people had waited a very long time for, and who would be the forever king. Well, the time came for Mary to have the baby when she was in Joseph's hometown of Bethlehem. Can anybody else remember who was born in Bethlehem that we spoke about a few weeks ago? Yes, it was David. Now, there was nowhere for Mary and Joseph to stay, and they ended up in a stable, which was where Jesus was born. And it says in the Bible that they laid Jesus in a manger. And that is our picture for our banner this week. Let me just show it to you. I need to ignore all the sticky felt marks that got in my way. So this is a picture of the manger, and a simple picture of baby Jesus laid in the manger where there might have been straw or hay. So that's a very simple picture for us to remember our story this week. When Jesus was born, there were some shepherds out in the fields looking after their sheep. Suddenly, the sky lit up all around them, and there was an angel again with a special message. You see that? The angel said, I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. Today, in the town of David, a Saviour has been born. He is God's special forever King. Well, the shepherds knew how exciting this news was. They left their sheep and they raced to Bethlehem to see the baby. They had been waiting so long, and they knew that this was news that everybody needed to hear. So they went and they told everyone about the new king. So God's forever king wasn't born in a castle or a palace. He was born into an ordinary family in a stable, and his first visitors were smelly shepherds. The shepherds understood, though, that God was going to bless the whole world through Jesus. They did not know how this would happen, and this is what we'll find out about over the next couple of weeks. So, God does keep his promises, and we'll find out a little bit more about that over the last 3 weeks that we're going to cover in our story of the whole Bible. Now, our song this week is going to be Shine from the Inside Out. And it says in the chorus, it says, you know me, God, you know me, and you love me. So fill me and send me. So the shepherds were so excited about the news of Jesus that they went out into their town and they told people about Jesus. And that is what we need to be doing as well. And we need to be shining Jesus from the inside out. So let's sing that now. I hope you have a great half term and the sun continues to shine. And we'll see you next week for the next part of our story of the whole Bible. Bye.
Inside out, that the world will see you live in me. Shine from the inside out, that the world will see you live in me. You know me and you love me, you fill me, so send me to shine from the inside out, that the world will see you live in me. Shine from the inside out, that the world will see you live in me. Shine from the inside out, that the world will see you live in me. Shine from the inside out, that the world will see you live in me. Know me, love me, fill me, send me. Know me, love me, fill me, send me. Oh, know me, love me, fill me, send me. To shine from the inside out, that the world will see you live in me. Shine from the inside out, that the world will see you live in me. You know me and you love me, you fill me, so send me. Know me, love me, fill me, send me. Know me, love me, fill me, send me. Know me, love me, fill me, send me.